knife. No.
We don't need a knife. We could just rip them. They're circular.
You want us to just rip?
Or we could bite them at the same time and pull them apart with our hands.
There we go. Oh, ooh, we've got delivery.
Oh, we've got a gingerbread on the way.
We got the gingerbread on the way.
Send it from.
Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Thank you. So dope. Awesome.
We are back at Chin Up Donuts.
Chin Up Donuts.
In North Scottsdale, a place where we had previously recorded a podcast episode.
Of course.
And they graciously gave us an array of their Thanksgiving-themed donuts at the time. It's obviously the holiday season, so it's Christmas coming up. So today we've got a peppermint mocha donut, I believe, and a gingerbread donut. Scott, correct me on this.
Let me make sure that I have this right, because I have my list here.
You've got a list?
I have the list that she sent me. So let's start with the lattes first.
The lattes are actually, I haven't even tried one yet.
Yeah. So you have the peppermint mocha latte.
Of course I do.
They make their own syrups here. So their own peppermint syrup, rich mocha sauce, with a double shot of espresso, and your choice of milk. 'Tis the season.
That is phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
And whatever the hell's on the edge of the rim of the cup.
We're not good at this because we're making a post, so we need to get you taking another sip.
Okay, I'm here.
Ready?
I'm here. We're also, like we did last time filming, for our They Tried account, which is our Instagram joint account that we've been failing to use lately.
We have not done a lot.
Go out and, well, we try it.
We've also been traveling a lot. There's no excuse, but we have been traveling.
I just haven't been trying a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
You have, but
Lots of them.
But there have been like nightly excursions, not good lighting,
Yes.
and an array of excuses we could create that are probably not valid.
I should probably scoot in a little bit just to.
Do we know what donuts we have so far?
Okay, so we have.
While Scotty finds the donuts,
Yeah.
these are some of the topics we're going to be talking about today.
You tell me.
Some might be included, some might not. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. No, I'm just kidding. What is love, which is a topic that I will get into, has been on my mind lately, and not for... People are going to assume they will. I had a conversation with a couple people recently, and I was like, I don't know if I can articulate it, and I don't know if anyone can articulate it. So then I asked my brother and his wife, and now I'm just on this mission to ask the world, and I want to get everyone's perspective on it. So I think that was a good topic.
Okay.
When someone knocks on the bathroom door, I'll get into it. AI, gaining energy versus depleting energy from activities, the importance of talking about things you're struggling with, and a couple others. So these are some of the things we'll be talking about.
Beautiful. Well, I will tell you about our donuts really quick.
Tell me about our donuts.
Right here we have the gingerbread man donut. This is ginger molasses, glazed topped with crushed gingerbread pieces. That's mine. And then we have a peppermint mocha. It's chocolate and coffee glaze, infused with peppermint and topped with a candy cane piece.
You know what's my favorite part is there's like the peppermint mochas, the peppermint mocha drink and the peppermint mocha donut, and the gingerbread donut and the gingerbread latte.
Phenomenal.
Oh, the dips. Get her. Cheers. I think we should try the donuts first. I think we should get a first initial bite of the donuts.
Okay.
And then we can start talking about things while we then eat the donuts.
Absolutely.
I think we should just give them a rip skis in half.
Rip in half? Okay, perfect.
Should we start with the gingerbread?
We should. Cheersies.
Cheers, senor. To the holidays. You made a mouth.
Oh, good. Gingerbread donuts, bro.
Honestly, just the bread they use here
Brioche.
is insane. Oh, it's time to be real. Too bad. I don't want to be real. I would like to be fake, to be honest. Excuse the chair, guys. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that, guys.
Everything's peppermint mocha in my life right now. Cheers to coffee or something. Oh my god. Hold on. Oh my god. I'm so fat. Why? You just look like so giggly every time you take a bite.
So good.
Oh, the sipsies. Give us a sipsy pinky, dude. What's going on? There she is. I think I want to start with the So I was in the back. Okay, I need you to grab your phone because this is important. What are we doing here? Are we doing something important?
Yes,
Is this business?
it is, actually.
Continue. Please continue.
This is us making money. Let's go.
This is probably the best outcome I could start this podcast. I was sitting in the bathroom the other day.
Okay.
I was getting things done.
Okay.
Someone knocks on the door. I ignore them. What do you say when you're in the bathroom and someone knocks on the door? What do they expect you? Like, there's the classic, someone's in here.
Yeah.
But then it's like, obviously someone's in here if I just voice that someone's in here.
Yeah.
And if the door's locked, isn't it obvious that somebody's in there? Talk to me.
What's funny is the same thing happened to me, but I was so caught off guard when it happened to me because I didn't hear the person come into the bathroom. So I was like, it's in the bathroom, just doing my thing.
Oh, this is a group bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And didn't hear the person come in. There's one stall.
Okay.
And so I'm just in there just doing my thing. I don't
Yeah.
know. I missed the door opening. and they knocked, but it caught me so off guard that I didn't say like someone's in here or anything. I just made a noise. I was like, huh? Just like, huh?
Just the equivalent of saying I'm in here.
Yeah, I was, huh?
I don't know. Every time that happens to me, I'd rather not say anything
Yeah.
because the door is locked.
Yeah.
Why do I need to say anything if
Yeah.
the door is locked? Why are we knocking?
One of my biggest issues is like when somebody knocks and then they jiggle the handle and then just, it's like the door's not gonna move. Like it's off. Like one time,
No, I agree.
it's locked.
I don't know. I just was sitting in this predicament. I was like, this is like, what are we supposed to do? Or should we normalize some sort of phrase that lets people know we're in there? Or should we normalize not knocking on a locked door?
Or maybe it's like the person on the outside. It's their responsibility before they even knock. They go, "Is anybody in there?" It's
Then I have to answer it.
But now you have a friend.
What am I going to say?
Yes.
Oh, they should say the sentence to line up my response.
Exactly.
I think
So
you're onto something.
They knock on the door. Is anybody in here? And then you go, "Yeah, somebody's in here." Instead of them just knocking, and you have to respond to a noise.
That's good. I think what Scotty's talking about is what we're supposed to be doing.
We're winning.
No. Obviously, recently, we've had this huge... AI's been around a while. You've got your classic science fiction films about robots taking over and artificial intelligence building consciousness and all these things. But we're living in an age right now where I feel like in the past year to 5, AI has sped up 10x. Like, and obviously most of AI, I'd say like 90% of AI we don't see. 99% of AI we don't see as consumers. It's what's running, I'm guessing, self-driving vehicles, machines, a bunch of different things, computer programs, software. But I feel like we're starting to see it as consumers now. We had that app called, what was it called? Lenza, which was like one of the most, I would honestly be surprised if it wasn't the most used app in like a week span from zero.
It kind of took like a Twitter angle.
'Cause
where
I've
it,
seen
like exploded.
A lot of apps have built like a trend base within like a week or two, but that was like something I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And like to imagine the amount of money that application made
Insane.
terrifies me. Now, even further, the amount of data that app was able to collect from an
Yes.
artificial intelligence perspective is where this conversation should lead.
Okay.
Now, I don't know shit about AI, so I'm not exactly sure whether it's harmful or not. But in my head, for this software that is being built to have these amount of photos and to spend this amount of time and computing power to create this many things using human beings, the one thing that is dangerous for artificial intelligence to understand is like what it's like to be human. Now, I don't know if that is translated through photos, but AI is getting out of hand. And I know that week something actually launched, some other big software of AI went public or something, and I've seen a lot of people talk about it. I don't know the specifics, so I can't talk too much about it, but how much does that shit scare you?
It's ridiculous how scary it is, but how cool it is at the same time. You know, where it's like,
Oh, of course.
you know, because I forgot who was talking about it the other day. He's some genius dude. He's like some like doctor out in England.
Alex Hormozy.
No, no.
Some genius science
Him
dude.
that too. But there's some like he's a scientist or a doctor out in England, and
Okay.
he put out a tweet the other day that was like so in depth on how to be happy or something like that.
Okay.
And then 3 days later, he posted another tweet and said, "That wasn't me." He went into an algorithm of an AI unit and typed in the question, "How to be happy," and it wrote him out a paragraph on the things that you need in life to be happy. And this thing was so dead accurate on how to be happy in life, without him even writing it, but it was so unique and laid out perfectly and beautiful and like all these different things, and you were like, "Holy hell!"
I've seen AI do that recently.
Gnarly. And I was like, what? Like, this thing has its own mind.
And my fear is this, right? It's like, as someone that knows almost nothing about AI,
Yeah.
I feel like all the concepts in my head are like stereotypical.
Yeah.
But with that being said, the concept that AI could gain consciousness one day is a science fiction topic, but I think, to my knowledge, that is correct. It's possible.
Do you think it already does have consciousness, though?
I don't know, but my take on it is like, I feel like in my mind, logically, the one bridge between AI and AI understanding consciousness is for AI to learn the most possible they can about human beings. My fear is with all this stuff coming out and like bridging the gap between like human being consumer and AI is like the ticket to figuring out. Like, if we start asking all these questions, these hypothetical questions, and they start having access to the things we're doing, what we're posting and thinking, and how we work, in my mind, is that not the solution to that problem from a robot standpoint?
But like also is like, I guess you can look at it from like so many different angles because it's so real. You know, it's here. Like we keep thinking about it as
I
like
know, it's
AI.
been creepy.
Yeah, like AI is like it's been talked about for so long that it's like coming.
But we never see it.
But we never see it.
We just
All
hear
of a
about
sudden-
it.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, in the last month, it's come to such a fruition
I know.
that it's like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, who's in charge?
Who is monitoring
Yeah,
this?
who has got this? Like, that's what's scary to me is I don't know who's got their hand on the trigger of this thing.
I'm just on my Lens app and I just get shot in the face.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm like, oh, great.
Well, it's just like you're on your phone sometime, and then all of a
My
sudden
phone
it
just blows
just
up.
starts talking to you.
Yeah.
It's like, hello. It's like, nope.
Hawk it off my roof as far as I can.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm going back to like, if that ever happens, I'm literally gonna like get a carrier pigeon, start writing letters, and just go back to those days.
I don't know. I don't know enough about it to even have an opinion like, from like a realistic standpoint. I just like have all these stereotypes in my head. I'm just like, this can't be good. This can't be good.
It's like, I want it to be good. That's the problem. Is I want it to be beneficial and fix problems, but I feel like it's gonna cause so many more issues than it
Something
fixes.
Hormozy posted about the other day, our favorite person to quote, was
Alex.
like, just this vast list of the things that AI will do better than human beings. And again, I don't think a part of his list was the stereotypical fear of gaining consciousness. I think it was just, we are going to become useless because computers are so much better at doing all the things we do. And so it's like, that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
The sci-fi shit we can put aside, but the reality of it is like we will become absolutely useless. The only thing we'll have is the consciousness. Hopefully, it's just us. We are now coaching people on feelings and mindset, and like robots and computers will do the rest of it.
I just don't even. I think it's gonna get to the point at that point where it's like we don't even need to be here.
I want to be. I want to drive.
I want to be home.
Someone let me take you
I was
somewhere.
talking to Jerome yesterday about that. He's just like, I wonder, like, once we get like these flying cars, if you're gonna need a license to fly your car. And I was just like,
No, they'll probably fly for you.
that's what I'm
But
saying.
I want to fly.
Exactly, that's what I was saying. I was like, well, I hope not, because I kind of want to fly.
I'm gonna be the guy who's like this is gonna be our generation because we're gonna be like right at the cusp of it. We're gonna be like 60, right? And you can like hop in this little drone bot that takes you to like Paris in like 30 minutes. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm driving.
Can you
This
imagine?
is BS. I'm taking my old 2010 Accord and I'm driving.
It's also crazy to think like how transportation and stuff like that in our world is so different from place to place that you go to.
Yeah.
Like you go over to Europe, like I'm like currently having that conversation with a girl over in Europe, and it's like everywhere she goes, like, yeah, I'm just jumping on the train. I'm like, over here, you never hear somebody say that.
I don't think we have a train.
We don't have a train. Like,
No, we do probably somewhere in Arizona.
California.
California has one.
Yeah.
There's got to be a train in
But
Arizona.
just think about that. Like, that's just normal. Like, well, yeah, no, we're just jumping on the train today.
Train, subway, metro. Yeah, in Europe, it's means of driving are much different because the roads are different, the traffic laws are different, and it's also big city living. Like in New York, they use the subway.
So like once you get to like AI and that and stuff like that, and you get to like the future of technology, the future of transportation, what does that look like? Like,
Elon's tunnels,
it's true.
and you're not driving your car. I don't know.
It's fascinating.
I feel like the curve of like innovation is like logarithmic in the sense that it's like it doesn't just progress like this; it progresses like this. And we're at the part of the half pipe where it's like every year it's gonna start picking up 100x. Where it's like we look at the span of our lives and how much innovation has gone from when we were and we're young.
Yeah.
How much innovation's done? You're not.
Yeah, that's what you are.
In 20 to 30 years, 30 for you,
Yep.
20 for me, obviously, and it's already mind-blowing. I mean, when we were kids, like cell phones didn't exist. When you were a kid, they used like
I remember the
I
first
think
airplane.
horse and carriages
Yeah,
were the only mode of
the first
transport.
airplane was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And so to look at that, and then like because I believe it's logarithmic, I think it's going to completely 10x or 100x in the world of innovation in the next 20, 30 years.
Facts.
And then so to like wrap my head around that is terrifying. Like
I
we're
don't think it's terrifying though, because it's more of like I just wonder, like what's that look like?
yeah, but I feel like in the unknown is where the fear lies.
I guess so, but I mean
Because look at where we're at right now. I feel like in the past 5 to 10 years is where things have really gotten dicey with the introduction of social media and this. It's just this object.
Yeah.
This is where our world has started getting scary.
Like think back to like really think back. Like you can't really think back, but like think about.
I
Like,
can't think back as far as you.
Yeah, no. Think about like the people who first saw like the first airplane and stuff. Though, just going back to that, it's like you saw that and you're like, where the hell's the world going? Like,
But I wonder though if because innovation went at such a slower rate that if it was like less mind blowing. Like I wonder if when the first airplane flew, people had the knowledge of like they're trying to get an airplane to fly for the past decade. So it's like almost like, well, that took them forever.
Yeah.
Like it's about time. Like what if innovation was less surprising and now it's like we wake up and AI takes over.
But they've already been talking about AI for so long. I
Hey,
just
you
feel
dropped your napkin.
Like, oh, thank you.
Of course.
Solid. But what if? But think about it back to like when AI first started getting talked about. Like I mean, they've been talking about this in like movies and stuff like that forever. And so
True.
everybody's always been like, what happens when that day comes? And I think we've
Yeah.
all kind of like had that idea of like, oh, this is kind of like this. Oh, this is kind of like that. Oh, this is kind of like that movie. And then
Well,
now
it's
it's
sci-fi.
And now we're in that movie where it's like, oh,
Wait, hold up. This
Oh.
movie seemed like a joke.
iRobot's getting a little
Yeah,
real
exactly.
now. You know, like,
and I see those comments all the time. And
Yeah.
like, that is how people are thinking. It's like all these joking sci-fi things that you'd be called an idiot for thinking about. Like, bro, come on, calm down. Is coming to fruition, and now we're just like, wait.
And like, what's even weirder is like, I wonder if that's where like the ideas had to have come from. And so it's like the entire time we were freaking out, and you're like, well, it's never gonna happen because nobody's ever gonna do that. But the guy who watched the movie was like, I'll make that. Like,
I'm working on it.
hey,
I've been.
you know, I've been in my basement. You know, we've got a couple fake people walking around down here. Like that is scary to me. That there's somebody out there who has watched something from these, got inspired, and they're like, maybe we can take over the world.
What scares me is how long do you think AI has been around versus now it's hitting consumer level. So think about how much AI exists that we're not seeing. So then if you go further in that topic, it's like how much of these scary topics are happening behind the scenes and how long have they been happening for? Like, I feel like it's just human beings, day-to-day consumers. You're not in like the upper 1% thriving with connections and the bajillionaires. That was a funny way of articulating. It's like, how much of that do we not know? Is it all of it? Is it 99% of it? Do we get like the 1% trickle down of like, once it's consumer level is the only time we find out about it versus the 99% where it's just been going on in the past? Like, that's my theory. It's like, hey dude, what's up with your donut?
It's yours.
We know why I haven't you eaten it yet.
Enjoy that guy.
What's wrong with that?
The gingerbread one was mine. I'm not a big fan of the mocha.
It's not getting you?
Nah.
You know what I'm a big fan of? It's not necessarily the mocha, it's just the donut.
There you go. Enjoy that guy. Because remember, I had two gingerbread men, so.
I'm catching up. I don't know. We could go down this rabbit hole for years.
No, the AI conversation is literally one of those ones that will never stop.
Until we're having a conversation about how do we disconnect from the system and not let robots know we exist because they're going to kill us all.
And then the second you have that thought, a robot comes in and kills you.
You're wrong.
Or doesn't kill you, just takes your consciousness out of you, and then you're just trapped in like complete unconsciousness forever.
Oh my god, stop it. That's even scarier. Just kill me first.
Yeah,
Alright, Scotty boy.
that is torture.
We're going to dip into my favorite.
Get it?
My
Love.
new favorite conversation.
Love.
Have you been in love?
Of course.
You're 28. You're an old man.
Nah.
You probably understand this concept more than me. Let's begin by, can you, if you can,
Okay.
articulate love for us? What is your idea of love?
My
How do you
idea.
know you're in love? What's the feeling? What's some sort of tangible measurement?
Everything else becomes about somebody else. Everything that's outside of you, everything that's outside of your control becomes, how am I going to do this for this person? How am I going to live for this person? How does this action right now dictate how this person's going to react? How does my action here, like, how does anything in my world always wraps back around to it?
Okay, I'm gonna preface this before we get in this conversation.
Go back around.
This is gonna be a progressive conversation with a lot of ifs and buts
It
and
is.
rebuttals so that we can communicate about this.
100%.
So don't think I'm trying to fuck you off.
No, please, like that's what conversation is.
Does
And
that necessarily apply to family? Like, I love my family to death.
It depends on the kind of love you're looking at.
So that's what I'm saying.
There's loving somebody, and then there's being in love.
Okay, that's a fair concept. So there's loving people and being in love. You're not in love with your mom. That would be a little weird.
A little
But you
awkward.
love your mom.
Exactly.
Sometimes. No,
There's times.
that was a joke. Okay, see, I haven't thought about that yet. That's true because what you just stated, I feel is more along the guidelines of being in love because I love my family, but they are not how I dictate my life decisions around.
Exactly.
Maybe because I've been dictating I dictated my decisions sort of around them for 12 years. 12. I moved out at 12. My mom kicked me out when I was 12.
Same.
jokes. And so till I was 18, it was like relatively dictated around my family. But there's so many ifs and buts with that. Like that doesn't still apply. Like my life is not. I do not base all my decisions on my family.
I also I do believe in the concept of love, and I understand what love is as a word and what it defines. But I feel like with your family, it's not love, it's family. You know, like I feel.
But
like,
I feel like family is the only proven metric of it, where there's not even a question. It's like you love your family.
Mhm.
You might not like your family.
Mhm.
You love them because you were born into it.
But some people don't, though. That's the thing. It's like you don't have to love your family. Sometimes like
But what if they do and they just don't think they do?
I
What
just-
if you can't not love your family? I don't know. Maybe you're right.
I just don't know, because I mean, like, what about like if you're born into something and you're completely abused and they leave you and there's all this stuff and it's like you never
How
really.
could you love someone like that?
It's not even how can you love it. Like you have no like concept of loving that kind of thing, because it's like
If you've never been loved, how can you love?
exactly.
Okay, that's fair. Now, let's move into the relationship world.
Okay.
I bring up family because I feel like family is the metric. Like for me, let's say the other day, the way this all started was just having a conversation about this. And like, I've been in love before, but how do I know? And so I wasn't actually second guessing myself, but for the sake of the conversation, I was like, I was open to the idea that maybe I haven't.
Yeah.
Like, what if you felt like you've been in love, but that was a false idea of love? Where is for sure the feeling of like, wow, I've been in love? Because for everyone it's different. No one can really articulate it. So it's like, do you ever really know?
I feel like like you just said, it's different for everybody. So I think you get to dictate what love is. You know, I think like that's.
What if you dictated wrong?
Well, then that's your choice.
Like, what if love is here and you decided it was here, and so you've never felt here, and so for the rest of your life you think that every time you reach this mark is where love begins, when in reality, like, I don't know, it's endless.
It is endless, but I mean, like, but once you get to that spot, like, you're like, okay, I feel love, and then if it gets to another level, then you have that realization that
This is my new love.
Oh, this is more love. You know, like, you're like,
More
oh,
love.
It just more love.
Hey, more love.
It just goes up, and so like the bar keeps going up. So you're like, oh, there's more to this. There's more to this, and I think as you grow, because that's what growing is. It's learning and adapting and bringing in more information as you go up. And so you know, the more love you feel, the more love you feel. You're like, you just keep feeling it more, and you're like, oh wow, like this. I thought I had love before, like, because I think I've had that conversation with a couple people where they're like, I thought I was in love until I met her.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I would like to hear your take on why you think you've been in love and what that feeling was like for you. But before we do that, I asked my brother and his wife.
But before we do that, a quick sponsor.
A word for our sponsor, Chin Up Donuts, located off
Scottsdale and Bell.
and Bell Road. We are out of donuts, but I asked my brother and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
I actually asked my brother's wife first,
Okay.
because I don't know, we like having serious conversations. My brother, he doesn't talk to me. You know, he's a fireman. He's fighting fires and stuff. And then he ended up FaceTiming us, so then we looped him in on this.
Okay.
And they've been together 11 years. High school sweethearts, just got married. So I figured, I'm like, these two, they know what love is. Like, what they've got is love, whether they want to admit it or not. You know what I mean?
I hope they.
I've seen these two, listen, whatever gets them through their bickering, that's love. I don't know, but something's gluing it together. And I got two really interesting answers. The first thing Katie said, my brother's wife, was, in our lowest moments where I want to punch him, I still want to be with him. Like, I want to be next to him. I want to be with him. I was like, that's a really deep concept.
Good one.
And that is accurate. Though I do think there's people that storm out of the room and they quite frankly want to do the exact opposite in those moments.
Yeah.
And so maybe they're not in love, or maybe Katie's wrong. These are all, I mean, no one can really prove this.
Mm-hmm.
Another concept which I do have written down, I've created this new note in my phone about love, and
Okay.
I'm gonna make a docu-series on it one day. And then I got this theory. What if love is something that once you feel it, can never go away? And so I started thinking, I'm like, what about the people that I loved in my past that I very much so dislike? And I was like, and this is gonna bring me to another topic my brother said, of someone you can't imagine living without. Like, and obviously it's not literal, it's more figurative. Like, what if there's someone you very much dislike in your past that you've loved, but you still can't fathom them dying? And I know this is really deep, but the idea, like, there's people I've loved in my past, and I very much so do not want to spend a second around ever again. But if they died, I mean, like, I would be very bummed. Like, that it sounds so underwhelming, but it is true. So, getting back to my original theory that I've already forgot, what if love is something that lasts forever? Like, what if you get grandfathered into love? What if the moment you love someone, you can never not love. Like, you will maybe not like them, but you will always love them. Like, love is not something that goes away. And so, like, I have friends in my life that whether I once loved them or I currently love them, I have very few friends I think that I like love, that I feel like they're family to me. Genuinely. Like, I'll say I love you to friends, but obviously I'm full of shit. No, I'm kidding. But, like, as far as real family love, like, there's few friends. Like, I even have friends in my past that I feel like were once family that I still, like, I love them as people.
Yeah.
Like, if, again, I'd use the metric of, like, if I lost them, it would be detrimental to me. Again, can I be wrong? I don't know. Please articulate on the agreements here.
No, I agree with what you're saying because it's. I think that you build attachment to something in your life.
Yeah.
And I think that's the word that we're looking for is attachment, where you're attached to somebody in such a strong way and such a strong capacity for so long,
Yeah.
and especially how long because I believe you get closer and closer to somebody as you grow and as you as you spend more time together, and so that when that person's not there, it's that uncomfortableness and it's that. Oh my, like, wait a minute, something's missing.
Yeah.
You know, it's that missing piece that you're trying to find, and I feel like that's what a lot of people miss is they're like, okay, what is missing in my life? And it's like, you're not missing anything, you just had a piece of your life that was so, like, burnt in there for so long that's just not there anymore. So it's not that you're missing love, it's not that you're missing the love of the person, it's the fact that it was a chunk of your life, good or bad, that is no longer there for you.
Where I feel like we can't attach that to something that lasts forever is in the sense of, like, I felt that with many people that I have zero feeling of them missing in my life. Like, there's plenty of people, like I said, even childhood friends or people very close to my heart that I have no I have no need for them to come back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if we're talking love and that's like something that falls across this large spectrum, like, that won't fit in because that's situational. Like, the way you articulate that, like, there's so many people I can think of that I have no need. I feel zero missing in me anymore. Like, that is full. I think you can refill that crack, whereas love, I feel like, is something that, I don't know, man. I've had too many donuts to think about
it's
this.
like it's a spider web. So I mean, it goes so many different directions that you can look at because it's one of those conversations that I don't think there's ever going to be a stamp on it. You know, you can never end
because it's not tangible.
It's not because what love is to you is not what love is to me. And
I think you're right.
It's just it's you have to be able to find your own thoughts about it, and then I feel like once you find somebody who shares a like-minded thought about it, that's where the love piece, like the in-love piece, comes together. Where it's like you guys both understand each other because you're both on like that same spectrum of this is what our love is. And also, I think your love is defined with different people, and so like you define like the love that I have for you is completely different than the love that I have for Gordy. It's completely different than the love that I'm gonna have for a girl. It's like, but it's all love. It's like it's also it's like because it's not like a passionate thing. But it's like, you know, I care about you enough to stand in front of a bullet. Like, you know, like I know that. Like I care about my friends enough to like do whatever. Like I will put my life on hold to make sure that my friends succeed. When you are in that spot, that's when I know I love you. Is when I will put everything on the line to make sure that you're up.
What you just said is a good thing. Here's another concept. Is love the moment you realize you died for somebody?
I think that's a part of it. Yeah, because it's complete surrender of oneself for another's better, I guess.
That's really good.
You know,
that's really good. We're like, that person as a value to you. Like we spend our lives, the most base principle value is that we are the most important piece of our world. Like you can argue this all you want. You wake up every day and it's you. Mm-hmm. You make decisions and it's for you. You're alone, it's only you. Mm-hmm. Do you think love could be as soon as that value of some other being meets yours and or surpasses yours?
I think it's definitely part of it.
This sounds like we're getting somewhere.
It's definitely part of it because it's the realization that you have that you want this person's life to be so good that your life does not matter in comparison. Where it's like it's not that it doesn't matter, but it's
you become second priority.
Exactly. You're selfless. You're selfless.
Becoming selfless for someone.
Exactly.
Wow. Hey, we're getting somewhere. This sounds accurate.
I think that's where
I don't have many rebuttals to that.
I think that's where love kind of.
And then if you think about having a child, the common thing that I hear all the time is that, and when you have a child, it's love. You build it. You're in love before it comes out.
Yeah, it's unconditional.
I say as a mother, as a father, you could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a father, but I know as a mother, you're definitely in love with that being that is literally a part of you for 9 months. Mm-hmm. That love is, that is proven love, and so that metric is you already, the second that child comes out, it is already top priority. You are immediately selfless, and I've heard everyone say that the second you have a kid, the weird feeling is that you spend your entire life being selfish, and you realize this is the first moment that you're selfless and that you've been so selfish your whole life, and that every single top priority in your life has switched over to this child. And so that goes even further to prove that this could be accurate, because like that is a tangible metric of love. Like you know that you love your child. As a woman, you love your child immediately,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not. I feel, could be wrong, I guess it could be wrong here. And so to think about like how you feel when you have your kid is maybe a small way to measure that, to get an idea. And I think that follows with what we're saying.
Yeah, possibly. And it's what is worth it in life.
Yeah.
You know, is like, and I think that's like one of the things of, you know, I guess looking at it a different way, looking at the whole death thing is like, you know, is my life worth it if this person's not here?
I'd say always yes.
I'd say always yes too, but like, you know, it's like, I think that's like the love part where you cannot, and I think your brother said it, you cannot imagine a life without the person.
Yeah, it's not literal, it's
Yes.
figurative. Like it is unfathomable
Exactly.
to imagine a life that you have to live without.
And also it's, you know, it's crazy because like the science also shows it too, that like very, very, not all the time, but it happens a lot where somebody in a relationship will pass away,
And the
and then
spouse
soon
passes
later,
away.
soon
In
later,
the elderly community typically.
exactly, soon later the spouse will. And
For
it's
like no reason.
For no reason, they're just gone.
Their liver just starts failing.
Yeah, it's the, and I
Yeah.
don't know if that's the stress of losing somebody. I don't know what that would be, but it's like, you know, that happens a lot.
I wonder if there's got to be science and studies done on that.
There has to be.
Has to be, because
Yeah.
that's a very common occurrence.
Yeah,
That happens
or they
very
get
often.
very sick very quick, and it's
Yeah.
like, you know,
Is it the stress? Is it like the heartbreak, which is like the most stressful, the most high version of stress? I don't know.
yeah, because I've met like elderly people, and it's crazy. Like I've met a few when I was younger. We used to like talk with like the retirement communities, and there was a guy that was there, and they always said like not to talk to him, but we always like talked to him because he was really like a nice guy.
You guys didn't listen to the directions?
No,
Okay.
but like they always said not to talk to him because he was so miserable, and we found out that the reason he was so miserable is he wanted to die, but he stayed around for like 15 years because his wife had passed like 15 years ago, and he was miserable. He's like, I count every day, I hope I'm dead, and it was like, that's like a scary way to live.
But at least he's not inflicting it on himself.
Exactly.
He's allowing the world to dictate it still.
Yeah.
But he just would rather.
But 15 years later, still feeling that every single day, waking up going, fuck, I'm still here.
Oh,
Can you imagine that?
no, Scott.
Every single day. Like,
I'm about 15 years old. You're like 70.
37 and a half
At
right now, dude.
least.
Yeah.
That is
It's
like
a
one of the
fun
most intriguing concepts for me at this point in my life, where it's like, I don't know, like, I haven't put enough thought into it.
Are you in love?
With a lot of people, dude. Don't worry about it, okay? Doing things, especially when you don't want to do them. And I know we touched on this topic, but every time I write it down, I get really excited about it. And like, I feel like I could just keep going down different alleyways. And I've heard a lot of like excerpts about it recently, and it just like, and then I see people living it more. And like, my brother's getting into coaching, and like seeing him do the things on purpose. Like, he's up at 4:30 every day, and he's like thriving off doing the things he doesn't want to do. And it's like, we are very good at living by this, but like, I was thinking it in reference to like happiness. Like, I don't know if I was with you. Who was talking about the other day? Maybe I was with you. Where it's like, it was Kyle Corningham. What's his last name? Not our boy. He runs like Superhuman Fathers, and he does like coaching and stuff. He was talking about, he's like, without a doubt, life is going to be hard. Like, life is going to throw you adversity, no matter what, 100% of the time. He's like, if you aren't comfortable with being uncomfortable, if you aren't good at dealing with the adversity, you haven't prepped for it, if you haven't dealt with adversity in the past, I mean, you look at people who have dealt with no adversity and how much they crumble inside of adversity, you can train that. Like, you need to thrive in the moments and bring on, like, we can make decisions. I can wake up tomorrow at 3 a.m. and it's going to suck. And I can assure myself that that's going to suck. There are things we can do that we know will suck to do that. We can go do an ice plunge. That's not going to feel good. No chance.
Feel great afterwards.
So of all the things you actually can choose to bring on the adversity, it's something you can train. Like, you can practice struggle so that when real struggle comes beyond your control,
It's nothing.
you're more equipped.
Yeah.
And it's like, is that one of the most tangible strategies to happiness? Like, if your happiness is dictated by how much struggle you have in your life, is getting better at the struggle the best means of happiness?
I think you have to look at it in the sense of, if you're trying to struggle and you look at it as I am trying to struggle here, you're not learning anything. Because that's not I guess like it's kind of like learning in the real world versus learning in school. Like you're going to learn things that are just learning, but until you're in the situation, you're not going to know how to deal with it. I do think that there is definitely a metric there that's like, the more that you put yourself through something, the more well equipped you are to do it. But you're never going to be ready for any real like struggle that comes into your life. So I think, absolutely there is a basis for that, where it's like, the more you put yourself through a struggle, the more you're kind of like building that mental toughness, that mental grind to do it. Do I think that everybody needs to do it? No. But like, I do believe it's good for you.
I think everyone should do it.
I believe you should do things that are hard for you, not what the outside world tells you to do. It's like, if ice plunging is just you getting in cold water and you're like, I don't like it.
It's just painful.
It's just painful.
Yeah.
Like, then that's like...
No,
okay.
again, I don't think the activity and the choice of what to struggle on, I think it's the people who avoid struggle. And like, I'd say the metric where I'd say this is a proven thing is if you look at like the Wim Hof method. For those who don't know, it's like a breathing exercise. And the entire point of it is, as human beings, we experience stress. And stress can lead to anxiety, stress can lead to depression, and all these are just emotions you feel, and when you feel them, some people are more prepared than others, and some people's body, it's a subconscious. How you deal with it is subconscious, right? And so what the Wim Hof method does is this breathing, it puts your body in a literal, stressful environment. You might not feel it, but that's what it's doing. You're depleting yourself of oxygen, or maybe you're hyperoxygenating, I don't remember, and what that does is it increases adrenaline, it releases some sort of hormones that mimic stress. But you're in an environment that's safe, and so you're building your subconscious to deal with the stress. And then what that does is the next time you experience stress, the reason this reduces anxiety and stress and maybe depression is because once you experience real world anxiety, it does correlate perfectly. I mean, perfectly, quote unquote. You trained your subconscious, your psyche to deal with it better. And I think that's the exact same thing. So to say that it wouldn't work for everyone, I feel like it does, but it's proven. I'd say like if the more you deal with adversity, the better you can handle adversity, whether it's real world or not real world. I mean, like at the end of the day, what is real world? Like doing an ice plunge is the real world. Like,
yeah.
Your body feels like you just fell in an Arctic lake, which is what would happen.
But I also think it's like it's the decision to do that and put yourself in those, like, because you and I decide to do it.
Correct.
We are like those people who I want to challenge it. I
Correct.
want to see what's hard. I want to see if it's painful. I want to see if I can get through it. Like that's fun to me. But like in that same aspect, it's like I look forward to the challenge. So it's not a challenge anymore. It's more of like how much can I take of this pain?
Yeah, but that's just built
it's more gamified.
But that's just you.
Exactly.
But I don't think because it's gamified for you that it'll be any different for someone that's not. I still think you have just realized what we're talking about, and so you enjoy it because you know the outcome. You wouldn't be doing it if there was no positive outcome.
True.
Like, so you are actually following the exact principles of this. So like for me, it's like, I don't know, like whether or not you don't like it, I just think the bottom line is this: life's going to be hard, and the people who haven't, I guess you're saying it's the decision to do so, and I think that's the coolest part, is that we are able. It's something that we're going to deal with no matter what, and the fact that some people don't realize you're able to put yourself in those situations, because to most people, they're like, that's stupid, why would I do that? Why would I hear people all the time, why am I going to wake up early and make myself miserable? And I think on the contrary, it's the coolest part is that you can purposely train those things.
And it just doesn't get miserable anymore.
Yeah,
it's like
people,
once you do it for a while.
People just don't realize you can train. People are like, I'm so scared of adversity. I'm so scared if I get a health issue. I'm so scared if this family member dies. I'm so scared, and so they live their lives on that premise, and they don't realize that they can actually train themselves for it.
And it's also
you'll never actually be trained for it. But
it's also kind of like it doesn't have to be such a drastic thing either. It's like one thing that I always started doing, and I still do it to this day, is if there's an escalator and there's stairs next to it, take the stairs. And but my mind is just so primed to that, where it's like, God, see here? It's like my mind is so primed to that like when I see an escalator and stairs, there's no thought.
Yeah.
It's just like, taking the stairs. Like I just go to it.
And where that plays out though is I bet Scotty has never looked at just a stair set and gone, ugh.
Yeah.
You probably see a stair set and you're like, great.
Okay, like
I
stairs.
walk up these all the time.
Yeah.
I walk up these when I have the choice to not.
Oh, exactly. And it's the same thing like when you go to like the airport. We've been traveling a lot lately, and they have those like moving or those moving like pathway things.
Yeah.
I'm never on those.
Can I be honest with you?
Go for it.
I'm always on those.
Are you?
Because I like to see how much faster I can walk than a regular human being. I feel very super
See,
if I don't look at it.
I just don't take it.
Oh.
See, I'm such a health freak. I go on the one that's coming toward me and I run it.
I would like to race Usain Bolt while I am sprinting on said escalator and he is sprinting on floor.
Ooh.
Now, I could simply just calculate the speed of the escalator and calculate how much quicker he runs than me,
How much fun is that?
which is probably much faster than the escalator is aiding me in. But I think I could take him.
I think you got this.
Because I've seen the way I walk, dude. You ain't outlocking me when I'm walking on that thing.
And I've seen the way he runs.
And he's outrunning me.
Yes.
All right, that's it, whatever. We'll end it on there. That's just like, I don't need to get too deep into it. All right, I think we're going to end up the pod.
Okay.
Because it's going to be deep. And I've been struggling with this lately.
Okay.
Like, what are the best practices you can do to further understand yourself? Like, I feel like one of the biggest issues in people in their 20s, 30s, and a lot of the time 60s, your demographic,
Yep.
struggles to just really understand themselves. It's always asking yourself, what do I like to do? And if everyone really knew what they like to do, there'd be a lot more people spending a lot more time doing those things and monetizing it and gamifying it and turning it into a lifestyle. I think there's so many people out there that are willing to do that. Like, they hate their job and they're like, I want to do something I'm passionate about, but then it comes back, it's like, well, what am I passionate about? What, like, and for me, I'm at this crossroad in my career where it's like, my main thing is YouTube and content. It's like the content I'm making, for 3 years, I've just been on this autopilot trying to make content so I survive, because we always talk about, like, executing. Still execute if you're going to figure out. If you don't know the answer, execute while you figure it out. But for me, it's like, how long can I execute for until I figure this out? And so lately it's been this process of like self-realization. Like, what are things, like, I'm always thinking about, what are things I can do? What are exercises I can create? Things I can learn to understand myself better. You're really old, so what have you learned in this regard? Like, what are things people can do to further understand themselves? Tangible things they can try to do.
I think it's sitting back and it's looking at, first of all, where do you feel at the most peace? But like looking at it like, where do I feel the most peace that I also feel this peace even in a matter of absolute chaos?
Okay.
Where it's like, no matter what's going on around me, I know I can perform because it's...
Like you said, it's something you're really good at with the least amount of effort.
Exactly, and that's your gift.
Yeah.
And so it's even if the world is crumbling around you, you can still show up. I think that's a good place to start.
So it's like, it's figuring out, analyzing what is that thing for you?
It's figuring out what is that thing, or what are those things that kind of draw you toward that. And so, because when you think about it, really, that thing that your gift is always just going to be there.
Yeah.
So if everything else is falling apart and you try something new, if it doesn't work out, you've always just got your gift. But I always think that you should plug your gift into whatever you are doing. And so it's experimentation. It's not being afraid to try things, and also giving it time. I feel like that's the biggest issue that most people have, is they don't give it enough time to see if it actually comes to fruition. Like, if you want to get into the content space, like us, like if you want to do this, like neither of us just started doing content and then got successful.
I mean, I'm 6 years in, dude. I'm still struggling, so.
And it's like,
I'm sitting in a donut shop. I'm in a pot. No, I'm just kidding. That's pretty cool, actually.
And it's like, it's figuring out what you can do within it. So it's like, you start one place and then you let it evolve and you develop it as it moves forward. So it's like, when I started doing content, it was like, I already did my nutrition business. I already did all these other things, and they weren't satisfying to me. It just didn't do anything for me.
You didn't gain energy from doing it.
I did. I was just like, I was doing them.
You're
I'm very good at it, and I'm very good at it, but I wasn't.
So that was actually a gift that you took down an alleyway and you didn't end up gaining energy from that.
Exactly.
Okay.
But my gift also is, communication and being able to talk to people.
And hair, nice hair.
Nice hair, and
Facts.
people trusting me,
Yeah.
and being able to open up and relate to people.
Yeah.
And so taking that and turning it into my coaching businesses and developing businesses
Yeah.
and developing mindset and all these things for people, and then translating that into, okay, how can I bring that into my content? It's like, well, products that I actually absolutely love,
Yeah.
I can promote these and people trust me, trust my opinion. How can I bring that into it? And it's called, I think Alex talks a lot about it, where it's called just like talent stacking.
Yeah.
Where you just take little things that you learn and you just keep building them up. Like you're not going to
And
start.
just like Legos, kind of, you're just creating different things based on your talent.
Exactly. You're not. It's not a puzzle.
It's
It's a
seeing
set of
what
Legos. You're just seeing what you can put together, and then at one point, because I don't think you're ever going to find the thing where you're just like stuck right there. You know, you're always going to be a value.
I don't think you're ever going to find anything.
No,
you're never going to be set in stone on.
because you're always going to be evolving. Like you should always be, not always be changing, but you should always be growing in whatever you're doing. And so at the end of your life, like your resume should be pretty lit. Like if you're doing it right.
Lit?
Lit.
Like you should be lit.
Like lit.
Like that's a lit resume.
Like lit. Like
Okay.
you should look back and be like, damn, like I did a lot, but you should be able to also look at it and be like, look at the progression upward.
You think someone applied to McDonald's this week and saw the resume and was like, that's lit?
It's lit. That's a good starting spot though.
No, I agree.
I mean, think about it like this: a McDonald's cashier could get inspired by watching them cook, and then become the cook, and then get back there and learn all about food and all that stuff. And he takes that, he goes, "Okay, I know how to make a burger. I know how to do this. I'm gonna take this to a restaurant." Goes over
you
to
think
the
there's a
restaurant.
5-star restaurant chef that was once flipping
I do
burgers at
believe
McDonald's?
it. I do believe it.
If that's you, please,
I do believe.
please
that
reach
that's-
out. Or if you know somebody, we would like to know that.
I know people who started as like a McDonald's cashier,
Yeah.
and now they're like the head of like chains and stuff like that in like New York City at like the top restaurants. Just
That's
because they
so
learned
cool.
they learned their way up and they understand the restaurant business, they understand to have what like everything it takes, and they work their way up, and now they're heads of franchises.
Okay.
You know,
Side note, let's approach this from a different angle. The premise of this entire thing was that you know your gift, right? Everything you just said was for the people who do know, who are aware of their gift. How could people become more aware of their gift if they're not sure what their gift is?
keep playing and trying things.
Okay.
Just get creative. Like when an opportunity opens itself up to you, don't shut it down. It's literally like,
Yeah.
try it. You know, because you never really know. You know, there's always something out there that you know you could give it a shot and not think anything of it.
Yeah.
And it becomes your favorite thing, or
Correct.
you don't.
Or the
feel,
thing you're the best at.
Exactly. Or you don't feel like doing it, and then you do it, and you feel so much better because you did it. Like we can relate this back to the gym.
Yeah.
On some of those days where you're like, I just don't feel good today, and then you go to the gym, and it ends up being one of the best workouts you've ever had in your life.
Well,
you wouldn't know.
For me, it was like, I didn't know I was absolutely jacked until I got to the gym. And I was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Wait till he show you his pillow.
I'm just kidding.
Um,
I'm joking.
Yeah, but it's like, it's one of those things that I don't think enough people are okay with getting out of their element because we're told like you have to pick one thing. That's the biggest, I think once you find the one thing, you have to double down on it, but until you find the one thing, you have to just keep trying.
Do you think fear holds a lot of people back from
Fear's what-
from getting themselves in positions to try things they're scared to do, which like their gift is hiding within these one or multiple things that they're scared of doing?
100%. I think that fear and lack of confidence
Yeah.
are the two that just like hold people back because
And insecurity within the confidence
Exactly.
of carrying, like, I know a lot of people who won't start playing tennis because they're like, I don't want to suck. It's like everyone sucks when
Well,
they
it's like-
start anything.
it's anything.
Yeah.
It's like looking at the gym. It's like, dude, like you want to be like, look, let's talk about like C-Bum for a second.
Yeah.
You know, the number one bodybuilder in the world. You think he always looked like that?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Just kidding.
Sure.
Just kidding.
But no, like it's like you look at like what he started as. He's like this scrawny little kid.
Took a lot of steroids,
Did a lot to his body.
all of
but
them, but
that's-
put in the work.
did, and look at him now.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to look at it like that, where it's not an overnight thing, and it's not like, you know, some people find their gift like that.
Yes.
Some people it takes 20 years to find your gift.
Yes.
Some people just don't ever look, and it's hiding within them the entire time. Where, you know, everybody's kind of had something in their life where people are like, you know, you're really good at this,
Yeah.
and you don't think anything of it. You're just like, well, thanks. Like,
am.
but like,
I am.
you just don't think anything of it because
Yeah.
so many people tell you. It's like, well, why don't you take what people are saying and
Yeah.
like, if people are noticing something about you, take that, double down on it, create something out of it, because that's the end goal is
Have a nice day.
creation. I go. She was just standing over there. Like,
I
just-
run chin up.
She was just staring at us the
I know.
entire time.
I know. I didn't even see because there's a wall.
She's like, but
Those are the Chin Up podcasters.
I don't know who they are. Those are two guys in a camera.
Dude, you got two guys in the sunset.
Wait a minute. What?
When
two
do
guys in
they
a
film?
sunrise? It's noon.
Are the sunrises fake?
These are
Ironically, it's the sunrise I created that is fake this morning. I thought that'd be so funny.
That was good.
It is currently. Oh, I guess I put a timestamp on it anyway. But it is currently 12:30.
12:30.
I'm exhausted. My brain.
The first podcast back, and I'm dead.
Oh my god. There was something you said I want to touch on
Yeah.
that I forgot about. And
Okay.
now I'm like, wow, I really want to touch on this, and I'm
Bring it
gonna
back.
I'm gonna think about it.
Give it a sec.
Because this is a good ender on the pod. It's a concept that I love that I don't remember. Something about like being good at stuff, trying stuff, eating stuff. Probably not eating stuff. You know what, dude? Honestly, I forgot, and maybe I'll remember another day.
Okay.
This was a valuable one,
This was good.
especially the knocking on the bathroom door part.
Yes.
That's something that I think a lot of us struggle with, and that I think we're gonna help millions.
Absolutely. So if you're going to be going to the bathroom, you knock.
If you knock, you ask.
You ask. Make
Loudly.
yourself vocal.
Yes.
Vocal.
To make it easy to respond.
Anybody in there?
Yes.
Okay. Have a good day.
Beautiful.
Have a good day.
You don't just knock,
No.
because I don't know what to say.
Yeah, because it's like somebody ringing your doorbell. I don't know who's down there.
No. It's not fair of you to knock because I'm the one busy.
You just,
Don't make it harder than me.
I'm Scotty.
I.
What's your name?
No. Damn it. You just say something awkward.
I have such a hard time making friends.
You too. Damn. I'm not in here. All right, that's it, dude. That's when we end. Oh my god.